Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Today's Weather Tonight. Here, as always, I'm Hudson, your meteorologist for the evening. I'll be taking you through a brief little tour of what we got going on in our wave sphere, all the different waves. So, let me go ahead and share what I'm looking at to review what we had going on both over today and the past day. So the past 2 days, today and yesterday. So when it comes to our volcanoes, we've got big news is that yesterday, or actually today, Mount Ebeko erupted, and we have a new hazard map issued by the Icelandic Meteorological Office. They've added a new zone, Zone 7, and it's at risk of sinkholes and fault movements. So this is in addition to the other 6 zones that they already had here. They also downgraded Grindavik's warning to a considerable warning rather than the high risk warning. As you can see, it's been pretty quiet here because the theory is that, the thinking, I believe, is that they're expecting the magma chamber to reinflate, and we're in that ebb period of waiting for it to reinflate. So not too much going on there. Continued volcanic activity at most of the volcanoes we've been looking at. Let's also look at, yesterday, we had that eruption at Mount Ebeko in Paramushir Island in Japan. Volcanic activity and eruption. There's also continued explosions off of Suwanosejima. This is a image of Mount Ebeko, and here's Suwanosejima, and we're still seeing activity from Lewotolo volcano on Mount Lewotobi in Indonesia. Still seeing explosive activity at Mount Ibu as well. Latest imagery looks... Oh, I'm not gonna... Well, the latest imagery is indicating that there's continued eruption there. The thermal imagery has already indicated that as well. Mount Shishaldin out in Alaska has been at alert level orange, but it doesn't seem that there's been any explosions yet. They're just seeing a lot of... okay, so the alert level was downgraded from orange to yellow. Still seeing explosive activity at Popo, and let's see, Fuego, and couldn't quite tell what's going on at Samankaya. So let's take a look at our major earthquakes for the past 24 hours. There was a 4.2, a deeper 4.2 here in Mexico. First, we had here was the throughout the region of, like, the Hindu Kush region to Western China and Kyrgyzstan. All of this area has seen a rippling of shallow earthquakes. You can kind of see they overlap where their rings are. They overlap, and you can see where there's that third. You know what I'm saying. There's also been continued 5.0 activity in the Philippines. So 5.1 in China, a 5.0 here in Japan. That's off of Japan's south coast in the Volcano Islands area. A 4.9 southeast of Yukon, Japan. We've had one. We had a 4.8 about 113 kilometers depth over here in Tonga. Also seen a deeper quake, a much deeper quake here south of the Fiji Islands. That's where we've been continuing to see some deep quakes spawn over here. West Papua had 4.8 at like a medium depth. There's a pretty shallow one here in Japan as well. We also got a mid-range depth 4.6 in Colombia, one in Panama, and two in Colombia, excuse me. So several over here in south of Japan, one in Xinjiang, China. We had actually two in Xinjiang, China, one here at the Afghanistan-Tajikistan border, and several here just throughout in the same areas, all in the Banda Sea, which they're still seeing some residual weather activity happening there. Looking pretty last 30 days. We had more quakes yesterday. Let's look at the map for everything significant from yesterday. Yeah, okay. Still the same regions. Let's see previous day. Because we're doing a little quake update here. All right, so they had some moderately deep. So we had seen really shallow earthquakes here in like the Kyrgyzstan area, but this is showing that there was a deeper quake yesterday. So continued 4s and 5s throughout this area. There's a lot shifting in these mountain ranges here. This one also shows one off the coast of the main island of Japan. Yesterday, another 5 in the Banda Sea. One here south of New Zealand, one here in the South Sandwich Islands, and several here in Peru. Let's see. Yeah, Peru, Ecuador, a lot of those. So lots of earthquake activity, not more than usual, but well, a little more than usual. I really like their magnitude and energy distribution visuals. That's such a good visual. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at our some satellite imagery of the atmospheric weather. Here we've got a nice fire hose of moisture still making that ridge up into the western United States, still slamming California with a lot of rain, a lot of moisture, and it's not going to let up anytime soon, because we saw this area get really squeezed northeast, but right behind it there's a whopper of a rotation center. But I like to look at the water vapor RGB so that I get a more three-dimensional idea of it, of where the moisture is. Blue is where it's low to mid levels of moisture. Green is moist upper levels, and red indicates high and deep clouds. So when there's white, you see all three of those levels represented. It makes sense that we've got this, like, we're getting an injection of the low level moisture from here near the equator into the higher levels, and that's why we've got this nice moist upper level ridge spitting its stuff all over the country, and then diving down into some cooler, but well, I mean, not even cooler at night, but nice warm weather happening throughout much of the South right now. I want to go ahead and look at the GOES satellite imagery. Let's see. Yeah. Look at this really weird backflow, this onshore flow that's off the coast of, like, the Carolina coast. This is That's odd. I don't know. I don't know what that is, but truly couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. It looks like up here things the wind barbs start to get a little confused and they want to blow on shore, and I couldn't tell you what that's from. Here we go. Lot of energy moving its way into the country. Let's look at the goes west though. I'll do geocolor. Well, that's not what I want. Yeah, look at this butte. Look at this butte out here. A nice S-shaped curve. We see the different levels of wind motion by seeing the lower levels go kind of contrary to where the upper levels are flowing. Looking at some potentially rainy weather up here. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and check our precipitation totals for today, because this looks like still almost the entire state of California is covered in rain, and that is remarkable. They've had, again, really significant, good rainy season this year. Let's see. I want to go here, and then I'll look at analysis. How are y'all doing out there? Everybody watching? Let's see. Radar precip. Let's look at 24-hour precipitation analysis. Yeah, really getting dumped on out in the LA basin and in the northern Sierras in California. Getting some good coastal rain, but not a whole lot up in the Portland and into the Washington and Oregon area. Again, tons of moisture here for Florida. None to be found up here. I don't know what this line is. I bet that's the direction a storm traveled. So you're getting that tight gradient of precipitation, because one area, the storm traveled in the same direction as its orientation. So it can kind of create a line of really heavy rainfall right next to almost no rainfall. Still seeing some residual snowfall up here too, in the Northeast. Let's look at today's temperature analysis, because that might help us understand what this onshore flow is on the East Coast. All right. Yeah. This is really okay. You can kind of see the ridge, and you can see the sinking down of the cooler air on the front side of that ridge. You see a lot of temperatures spilling down into the mountain states, but really everywhere's had gorgeous, gorgeous temperatures, like freezing overnight, but then highs in the 60s. Really pretty day if you're not in the area where it's raining. Duh. But I'm saying so much obvious shit today. Let me go ahead and go to our solar weather so I don't keep rambling. All right. So, not a whole lot. In the whole 2 days I was gone, we had let's see, 10 total coronal mass ejections. Today it's been like dead quiet. There's only been 2 on the 20th, and nothing for the rest of the day. I think this one late last night on the 19th. Let's see how that looks. Maybe we're going to see how that looked. Maybe we're going to see how this coronal mass ejection looked. Okay, maybe I need to load it again. Maybe it didn't like me saying I was disappointed with its work. Let's see if I refresh the page sometimes. I remember, like last week, we had that X flare. Now it is pretty quiet. Think we're entering again that ebb period of activity, both volcanically and when it comes to, well, it doesn't want to even show me that coronal mass ejection. So let's just go to our solar activity. Yeah, I mean, you only see, like, we can only see 2 sunspot groups right now, and then there's this nice big coronal hole rotating into Earth view. That is going to cause some fast solar winds, but nothing too exciting. I think this 3590 people have been getting excited about on the message boards. But as you see, our solar proton flux is finally ebbing down, but it takes a while. Let's look at our solar activity, our solar flares for the past 2 days, past 3 days, really. Yeah, not even making it up to M class territory. Really quiet today from the sun. Nice and calm, pretty much, and almost getting down into B class territory, which is something more average for remember, C isn't nothing. It's just it's for solar maximum, it's a pretty quiet day. Let's see if it'll let me check out. Yeah, okay, so I think this is where our last flare was very not Earth directed. There was very little component in our direction. So we'll be thankfully pretty well missed by that. But it does kind of cause a bubble in something that's downwind of us. It doesn't get into the Earth plane until, you know what I'm saying. You can see it like move in and out of the page right here. That's that mass ejection. And this one, I mean, they've got like 2 expecting not much. I mean, it'll change the wind speed, like the solar wind speed for sure. But not looking at anything Earth directed right now. Let's see if any of this imagery will behave. Probably not. It feels like not today. Let's take a look at this one. It's where we can see coronal holes really well. Yeah, 3590 is rotating into view and looking really healthy. But I mean, these are even, the coronal holes are getting holier. they're deepening. It looks like they're darkening. So see a lot of good swirls going on. I like what you're doing, son. It's just a little boring right now. Okay. Let's see if we can even see any eruptions. I mean, we see some flaring here and there, some sparking off. It's really like these sunspot groups are waiting until they're not facing Earth to erupt, which is wild. I wonder what's causing that. I've heard that is a thing that can happen. Let's look at these, like the serpenty boys up here. I want to see what that looks like in motion as they rotate in. That's a nice swirl. That's a nice swirl. That's like a cartoon character hair kind of shape. I love that. All right, let's look at today's astrology, our planetary weather. Remember, today is a Mars day, Tuesday, Martes, Mars day. We are in a Saturn hour on a Mars day, so pretty hard day there. Hard to talk day there. We're in the first degree of Pisces now. The moon the sun has ingressed from into Pisces from Aquarius, where back in Aquarius we've now got Venus conjoining Mars just off of her conjunction with Pluto a couple days ago. And we still have 4 total planets in Aquarius, so that's still an Aquarius stellium. And we've got 3 planets in Pisces right now, so really heavy on this side of the chart. The sun is moving towards a conjunction with Saturn. That'll be fun. That'll be a fun day to have Sun conjunct Saturn on a sextile to Jupiter. We've also got the moon here at 23 degrees of Cancer. That's about to oppose all of the Aquarius stuff as it moves through Leo. This is the first time the moon has been in Cancer with like nothing in Capricorn in a while too. So she's finally not being told what to do by the Capricorn. Now, as we move into tomorrow, the moon is going to be transiting through Leo and make a series of oppositions to to Pluto first, and then will move to oppose the Mars and Venus conjunction. Then we will oppose Mercury. And then finally, once the moon moves into Virgo, we'll be into our first full moon of the Pisces season. I mean, first, it's usually only one per season, but not always. This is our, we're moving into full moon territory soon. So get excited for a full moon that has so much flanking it in like this tight semi-sextile, the 30 degrees away from each other aspect. I guess you could say that the moon and Pluto are now in that semi-sextile aspect. So that's this first like harmonic, it's the first harmonic connection they've made since the conjunction. Let's see. I have anything else to talk about today? It's a really watery day here on planet Earth. Got a lot of a conjunction of the sun and an approaching conjunction of the sun and Saturn in Pisces while Neptune is still there. That's deep, deep water, deep earth, underwater kind of things. I feel like we're going to have some revelations coming to us by Aries season, but this Pisces season is a gathering, learning, an information gathering phase. So that's really exciting, honestly. I'm really excited to see what happens when Mercury joins the party in Pisces, because I've loved Mercury here in Aquarius, but it's gonna be a fun ride getting this Pisces Sun, Mercury, Saturn connection. That'll really test the limits of how much words I can say. How good am I at saying words. So I'm gonna go ahead and close us out with trying to find a message from the universe today. Message from the cosmos. What do we need to hear today from Cosmic? Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. This is the card that I pulled the other day when I was talking about the branches and the lightning and how we all need to grow in our own direction. I bless and appreciate every religion. There is something for everyone in this magnificent environment of wide diversity where we, as people, can continue to take thought beyond that which it has ever been before. Remember to believe your own beliefs. Believe in your own perception. Do your own research, but like for real, actually figure out what resonates with you, because that's going to help all of humanity grow. If you figure out what a human who incarnated into the specific life path that you did, we need to figure out what that kind of person is like. That's good for all of us if we figure out what every kind of, just what's every kind of dude. Yeah. What is every type of religion? What's every type of unifying theory of the world you can have? That's it. Short one today, but I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you. I'm talking to nobody, but I still appreciate you. All right. Love you very much. Have a good night. Bye.